wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
We are back with you on Morning Barbados. I've had my nibble of the Thursday morning fish cake, thanks to our wonderful friends in the cafeteria. Good morning, Stacy, Shamika, Kelly, everybody. And thank you so much, Jack. He's our dear director. Dear Jack, dear. Thank you very much. Always making sure we have some good moments. And speaking of good moments, that's what happens when people work very hard behind the scenes together to make a product that we ultimately share with you, that you sometimes give us the feedback on, but ultimately it's for your enjoyment or education. And so it's your opportunity to meet some of the gentlemen behind the scenes. I call them the men behind the lens, and then a master researcher. So good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's start and go around. This gentleman closest to me, this is Wayne Ward. He is one of our cameramen here at the CBC. At the head of the table, we have Rondell French, also a videographer. We have Joel Bowen, another camera person, videographer. They're all videographers, really. And then we have, just across from me, we have the researcher. I call him a master researcher. This is Kevin Walker, and he will find whatever you need in the archives department. Good morning again to everybody. Congratulations on your work being acknowledged and your contribution being acknowledged. And thank you for waking up bright and crispy to be here with us.
Welcome. Thank you.
Now, I'm going to start with you, Kevin, because I want you to tell people about your role. And, you know, sometimes we come to you really early, and then sometimes you also get called upon a little later during the process. So tell us about your involvement in a production as a research assistant.
I look for the archive of my TV reel. I go with the videographers and I take notes. So I act as like a leopard and juice along the way.
Yeah.
And then they come back and compile all the information together, figure out which one makes sense and what goes where. And yeah, that's it. And I learned a lot, and I learned a lot of being on the road and stuff like that.
Yeah, what was the most interesting thing you learned along the way?
In terms of the Spice On project, or what people, how people felt about their town, the care, how passionate people were about trying to save Spice On.
Yeah, excellent. So for the guys who have to really bring it to life now and make it interesting, make the story happen on screen, let's start with you, Wayne. And we always say that you will crawl on your belly to get us the shot that we need. So what's your experience like as a videographer?
Well, I go back very far. I started working at CBC 1975, 15th of August. And to tell the truth, there's nothing I haven't
was what,
done.
3 months old? Carry on.
There isn't anything I haven't covered locally and regionally, you know. First, we'd also go into Grenada in Virgin. Visited
VIPs.
Grenada about 100 times. They called me the Grenadian correspondent. Grenada is very hilly, so in those days we had 2 pieces of equipment, a big camera weighing about, say, 50 pounds, and a recorder.
That's why you have these.
Well, when I was a younger virgin, and a big recorder, almost 50 pounds, and you had an assistant, but sometimes he couldn't make it when he's working with me.
You had to carry both.
Both, and you had to. And the equipment wasn't that sophisticated, but you had to do the job. And a videographer just traveled with the basics, capturing sometimes what is already there, and you have to just capture it using all of the elements of a videographer, close-ups, wide shots, whatsoever. But you must capture everything. Nothing must be left out.
Yeah.
If you're alone, you must, because when you return to the studio, that editor, that whosoever has to have information where he can tell any story.
And more is always better.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, well, just want to go around the table and hear from everybody. So, Rondell, tell us about, you know, your experience, you know, why you love this, what you love most about it.
My experience, I've been doing this almost half my life, about 13 years. What I like most, I've been everywhere with my camera. Because of my camera, and because of the camera, I've seen the world. I've been literally been to China and back with the camera.
Wow.
So, and it's all I know, it's all I do. So this is beyond a job. It's It's my life.
Yeah, when you work with your team, there's a researcher, there's a producer, the PA, the production assistant is often critical as well. Everybody has to liaise together. What do you keep in mind when you go about executing the process?
The objective. I mean, you keep in mind the basics of camera work, but you also keep in mind the final look, the final outcome. And you do your best, and you depend upon it. Once you know that you have a good team, everyone does their best.
Yeah.
The job is easy.
I just want to say that I know that each of you has a very different personality, and right now y'all are in a different space because you're usually behind the camera. But
True.
I still want to see some of that fire this morning. So, Joel Bowen, let me come over to you now and tell us a little bit about you and how long it's been for you working as a videographer.
Well, I think I've been doing it about 10 years, maybe just over 10 years. Right now it's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm a cameraman and / editor. So what will happen in my case is that as a cameraman, I also take it from perspective as an editor.
Yeah.
Because I know what it is like that.
The flow.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, and you want a clip to put in, and you don't have it. So as a cameraman, I'm always looking for that, having the extra footage. As you said, you always need the extra footage. There's nothing that beats having that extra footage.
What has it been like working on the two programs that were mentioned and awarded this year, Explore Dominica and Spice Down?
Okay, for Explore Dominica, I was the final editor on Explore Dominica. And I worked with Belle Holder. And so it's putting Belle's thoughts and her image for the program and putting it together. Wayne was the cameraman on that.
Yeah.
And you understand, Wayne had to climb mountains on Ford River.
Literally.
So then it was interpreting what he did to put it down so that the viewer could enjoy it. On Spice Stone, I just did most of the
There's no
B-roll.
just in this.
Well, there's just.
Everything counts.
No, I worked mainly on the B-roll. I did some of the interviews with Dr. Watson, I think it was.
Henry Fraser.
And, well, he's also Henry Fraser. So, and a lot of the B-roll footage I would have done for that.
All right. Now, what is the challenging thing for you guys? And you can share. Feel free to chime in. What is the biggest challenge for you as a cameraman? Let's talk from that perspective. You want to go first, Wayne?
Well, if I'm alone, basically there's no challenge. But if I'm going to work with a team, there's a challenge because you have different levels of experience. And maybe if the producer, the director, whosoever is not focused, you get problems. Because the objective is the final product. And if there's no communication before, because the background I came from, if you were going to produce something, you come up with short sheets, you come with all sort of stuff, and already you know what the final product is going to be about. And if you're working with 3 cameramen, one cameraman will have his thing. He doesn't have to worry. He knows what to do.
Right.
So, and that can be a challenge. Now, if there's a team effort, and they focus,
this is a team
it
sport.
works out well because everybody does their part. I won't be over here working with Joel, working this camera, and he's worried if I have the right shot. So that is very, very important. So that is a challenge sometimes if I'm working with a team. But by myself, it's no challenge. You see, because everything is there, and unlike many people that believe that a camera is only that physical thing, you start with a camera, which is your head. The cameras are built off for basically
You have to be able to pull it together.
Exactly.
Up
So from the time you see something, your eyes pick it up. If it's too bright, so these things are just natural, and you don't have time to really sit down and think because if it's action, so you have to be traveling with the basics. The first thing you see, cover shot, get into the intimate stuff, and just go with it. It goes with tempo, mood, whatsoever. Just so, and if you understand that, then there's no challenge.
Your thoughts, Rondell?
I mean, along with what Wayne said, one of my biggest challenges is what I'm going through now, trying to keep myself calm in front of the camera. I mean, trying to tell people it's just a camera,
Yeah.
relax and stuff. I know having a first-hand experience that it's not just a camera, you understand, is seeing yourself and having a reflection of yourself and having yourself recorded is
So now you're getting a taste
I
of
get a
what the
taste, yeah.
person in front of the
so
camera
I can
goes
really
through.
say no. You know what you're going through. So it's all right.
That's where we usually come in,
Yeah.
because often I have to spend a lot of time trying to calm people in my role, and just try to make them comfortable, the interviewee, and so it's a situation that's full of various dynamics, and we all really have to work together to make it happen as it should. Challenges for you, Joel?
Well, as Rhonda said, my biggest challenge is being right now in front of the camera. I'm a behind the camera person. Already, one of the cameramen has been telling me, keep quiet. Because I'm not accustomed in this role. My role is behind the camera, interpreting the image, the view that the producer has, and then trying to execute it. And trust me, I've had to do some real strange things for some producers. to
Like what?
execute. Let me see. I've been in a tree about 10, 12 feet off of the ground, shooting links, because the producer slash presenter decided, it would be a good idea for me to do these links walking, coming down the street that has been felled in a forest. The next was
You got to get the right angle.
yes. So I always remember for that one, I have a shot of my feet dangling, because if anything happened to me, people have
This
to
is
see.
the evidence.
I have one. There was the program about bees,
Yeah.
and everyone is in a bee suit except the cameraman. And there are bees, and you're in the midst of wherever the bees are, and bees are all around you, and the only thing that's protecting you is the guy said, well, if it smoke you, you're good. But all in your ears all the time, you're hearing the bees buzzing back and forth. So if I out in the Moses, 4 o'clock in 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Weirdest places you've had to shoot, or
Weirdest?
strangest things. Like Joel's been sharing.
There's so many.
Yeah.
But to add on about difficulty, one of the biggest challenges I think all of us can say is traveling.
Yeah.
I mean, when we travel a lot, and people have the notion that when you travel as a cameraman or when you travel on a production team, it's like a vacation.
It
and
is
it's
not.
Right, it's
I mean,
not.
I
You
had
work
bad
hard.
experience traveling when I was at the CBU, and I could tell you, sometimes when you land, you don't see the hotel until the night.
I've
So
had
it's
times
constant working.
I've been traveling, and on the plane you're working
You're
because
working.
you got permission to shoot on the plane.
And then additionally, when you travel and you take what you think you need. Then when you get there, you realize. So it is troubleshooting and learning on the fly.
Yeah. Wayne, some of the interesting places you've had to.
Well, let us go down to Dominica, a very hilly place, and we actually did a tour that we left surface and we actually descend and went down to, I think, about 6 or 7 rivers we crossed, and a big camera in your hand, and sorry to bring this out, but we are being truthful. Not proper camera protection
Coverage,
gear.
yes.
So you end up with a big garbage bag that is safer than all the things in the whole world, because, and then someone wants to take my camera and say, let me hold it for you.
Oh,
and
no.
I can't, because the only person that will take care of that camera is the cameraman.
Yeah.
But and water's up to here. You have to be careful that you don't, because you're walking down a terrain where that if you step to the left or right, you will fall a good 100 feet.
Yeah.
Right? So you are scared, and anyone that is scared is smart. Who says he's not scared? Well, then
They're just not aware.
So you're scared, so that is going through your head, but you're challenged that, listen, this thing has to be captured, and your adrenaline is high, and you're having fun. If you get too serious, then you don't do it. So you're crazy, and everybody think, who's this old gray-haired man who run up and down like a chicken, but if you don't hold on to that frame of mind, you want to turn around and go back home, and you're through the rivers, and you don't know what is going to bite you. You don't know.
It's
first,
true.
So you're going, but you're doing your work because you're focused on
Yeah.
You know, the product.
You know who we're really focused on when we're doing our work? We're focused on you. We're focused on making it as interesting as possible for you. We're focused on making it exciting for Kevin, the researcher, challenging him to find the older shots or just information that we may need to pull it all together. So what would you like to say, Kevin, quickly about your biggest challenge in making every production
My biggest
what it
challenge,
is?
my biggest challenge will putting in information together that they have gotten, making sure it makes sense, looking for the appropriate music,
Carry on.
looking for the appropriate music and a title to go along with the thing and try to catch the team. The hardest part is to get the appropriate footage to go along with these theories. And like this guy said, is when it comes together and everything works fine, it's a very beautiful thing, the end report.
Well said, and we want to say congratulations to you. And one of the questions I was saving for last was, after seeing the big story of yesterday in Virginia, I think that we all got these chills, besides the fact that this is human life that was affected. We are all working in that, and we understood exactly how you are when you're on a location and you're doing a shoot. You know, and I think it speaks to the importance of having someone to really watch your back while you're working. But Rondell, what are your thoughts?
Covering stuff in Barbados and the Caribbean, it is not as hostile as that.
Correct.
But it can become hostile. I personally like when I go out in certain situations to we have a driver that goes out with us. When I go on certain locations, I like to have the driver with me, because when you're looking through,
Nobody's there.
you're focused on what is in front of you, so you can't see what's behind you or what's wrong with you. But I can't say I've been in any serious situations. I've covered elections in Jamaica which were tense, but
charged atmosphere.
But usually foreign media escapes that. But it is a sad situation, and it shows that it can be dangerous.
Yes.
It can be very dangerous.
All right, your thoughts, Wayne?
I'm always looking out of the corner of my eyes, but some of our colleagues I came back here to Barbados, and Chris Woods was attacked at a political meeting. I'll be trying to hide up things, and he had to defend himself.
Yeah.
He luckily looked around and saw the guy charge it, and
It's a good thing he has big muscles.
well, you know. So what I'm saying that you have to be aware all the time.
Yeah.
When I'm working cameras, I have my eyes at the back of my head. You get that little sense in, and trust me, make up your mind that, hey, you have to protect yourself first. But Barbados is getting to that level now. Guys challenge you, don't take my picture, you know, and sometimes they confront you. And you can retaliate by being just like them or just smile, and sometimes it works.
And hope for the best,
but small community, and there's always somebody out there in the crowd watch. Don't trouble Wayne Ward, don't trouble Cassandra. So it's a mix-up thing, but...
Right.
You know.
All right, your thoughts, Joel Bowen?
Yeah, well, as Rhonda said, and we normally will work and be focused on what we were doing. And depending on the interview you're doing, sometimes, if that was me yesterday, I would have been there.
Yeah.
Because you're focused on what you're doing.
So it would have been pretty much the same.
The outcome would have been, because you're focused. And once you're listening to the interview, and you're following the interview, you're not really thinking about, and that was live.
Yeah.
So you have the director in your ear, you're listening to what's going on, you're following it, and you're really...
So, because you could see the video,
exactly,
pan to get the shot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're focused on what you're doing, and you're not really, and even now locally, as Rhonda said, it's not as bad in Barbados. You get the odd person who says, don't take my picture, don't take my picture, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you still have to be careful. But once we're out there working and you're focused, you're doing an interview and I'm focused on you, I'm thinking of what you're doing and looking to follow.
And make it best.
Exactly.
Yeah. Keep that camera steady.
As steady as possible.
Gentlemen, again, I want to thank you all so very much for sharing. Kevin, thank you so much for coming in and sharing. And thank you for always doing your best to give us what we need in the productions department. It's a great support, and that is so important. And I want to thank you guys personally on behalf of everybody in our productions teams and news department where Wayne is now. We appreciate everything that you do. Yes, Wayne is very much a part of capturing all the sports, ball by ball action, literally.
that's stressful.
Thank you. But thank you so much for coming in and talking with us and helping persons understand from another perspective what we do here every day at the CBC. Thanks so much, Rondell French, Wayne Ward, Joel Bowen, and Kevin Walker. And congratulations to you for your work being acknowledged as well. We're going to take a short break. We're going to continue.